All right, so here we're looking at how to find the volume of prisms. And like I've said in other videos, a prism is any 3D shape which you can cut into slices so that every slice would look the same. So in this triangular prism, every slice would be a triangle. For a cylinder, which is a type of prism, every slice would be a circle, or even for like a jelly bean type shape, that can still be a prism if it's the same shape all the way down. Now, to find the volume of a prism, there is a formula that you need to remember. The volume of a prism is equal to the area of the cross-section. I'll talk about that in a sec. The area of the cross-section multiplied by the length. Now, I'll just skip back for a moment. Like I said, the cross-section is the shape that the slices look like. So when I was talking about slices, a prism is a shape where you can cut into slices and every slice looks the same, but technically I shouldn't use the word slice, I should say cross-section, because that's the mathematical word for it. So we'd need to find the area of the slice, the area that it looks the same all the way through, and then multiply it by the length. But like with most things, it's probably easier if I talk through an example. So if I want to find the volume of this prism, the cross-section could be this rectangle on the front here. So I'm going to find the area of that cross-section by doing 3 times 5, which is 15. That's the area of the cross-section, so I just need to multiply that by the length, which is 6. So 15 times 6 is 90. Now this is a volume, so the units are going to be meters cubed. Because volume is talking about 3D space, the amount of space a shape takes up. And if you think about a cube, that is a 3D shape. So when we say it has a volume of 90 meters cubed, we are literally saying we can fit 90 cubes of 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter in that shape. And that's it, that's the volume of that prism. But it can, of course, get more complicated. Here's a prism that's a triangular prism. So when we work out the area of the cross-section, we're going to have to work out the area of the triangle. Because in this shape, the triangle is the cross-section. So to work out the area of that triangle, we start by doing base times height divided by 2. So 8 times 6 divided by 2, which is half of 48, 24. That's the area of the cross-section. We then multiply that by the length of our prism. And in this case, our prism is 2 centimeters long, so it's 48. And again, it's volume, so it's going to be centimeters cubed. Finally, we have a more complicated one still. This is a cylinder, which is still a type of prism, but this time the cross-section is a circle. So this is the most complicated one because you need to know the volume, you need to know the formula for working out the area of the cross-section, which is now a circle. And if you remember, the formula for the area of a circle is pi times the radius squared. So we're going to need to do pi times 4 squared, which is pi times 16. I've got a calculator here. Pi times 16, I'll just give it to 1 decimal place for now, is going to be 50.3. So that's the area of our cross-section, and then just like with the other ones, we then multiply that by the length of our shape, which this time is 11. So multiply that by 11, and we get 552.9 centimeters cubed. That's the volume of that cylinder. So here are 2 to have a go at. None as complicated as the cylinder, but just remember you've got to find the area of the cross-section so you can multiply it by the length. If you want, you can pause the video and have a go at those, or you just leave it playing and I'm going to talk through the answers. So for our first shape, the area of the cross-section is going to be 3 times 2, which is 6. And then to get the volume, we just multiply that by this 5 down here. So 6 times 5 is 30. It specifically says state the units of your answer, and as we've done with the others, it's a volume, so it's going to be centimeters cubed. And then with this triangular prism, the area of the cross-section is the area of this triangle at the front here. And we find the area of a triangle by doing base times height, they're both 3, the base and the height, divided by 2 for a triangle, divided by 2. 3 times 3 is 9, divided by 2 is 4.5. And then for the volume, we take the area of that cross-section, which is 4.5, and multiply it by the length of our shape, which is 4. 4.4 times 4 is 18 centimeters cubed. And that's finding the volume of a prism. It's not given to you on the exam, though, that formula. You have to remember to you have to remember that formula. You have to find the area of the cross section first, so the area of the square or triangle or rectangle or circle, which makes the cross section of your prism, and then multiply that by the length of your prism. Hope that helps.